Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan Metal video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the Terrifying Conquerors Challenge for the Metalcore Cooler Red Zone. So the requirement or the mission here is to use a full team of Terrifying Conquerors units, which for the most part isn't too bad. But yeah, it's going to depend a little bit on your box, but there's a couple ways to split it. I decided to showcase a couple units from every section, more so than anything, but there are still some other usable units that you may want to consider. So let's talk a little bit about the friend lead, because that's the most important part. Your friend lead must be Strength LR Cooler. It's very straightforward. He is going to incinerate the Metalcore Cooler section, and so you need at least one of them. If it's a friend lead, if you've got two, if you've got your own, whatever the story is, but you definitely need at least one of the Strength Final Form Cooler. It's like almost imperative, because he is really solid, and his damage is going to destroy the physical phase of this event. And for those of you who don't know, this event starts off as a 3-turn stage against int characters, but then it turns into a physical stage against the Metalcore Cooler or Metal Cooler Core. And you can't really beat the int phase, so a lot of the times you need to just manage your team so they can get through the int phase generally fine. As long as they can get through the int phase relatively healthy, then you tend to have a pretty good time overall. So yeah, that's the basic premise. Outside of the friend lead and obviously the general concept of the stage, the team build that we went for is kind of a hybrid Ginyu Force with Wicked Bloodlines team. So we've got here the Captain Ginyu, the AGL Captain Ginyu. We're also going to link him up with the Strength Raccoon and Gildo. Raccoon and Gildo are great, obviously alongside Ginyu. They have this really awesome ability to tank almost anything in the game, which is very impressive, and just allows them to be generally a good facilitator for the rest of the team. Stick them in the first slot alongside Ginyu and they can really get some work done. They also naturally activate a lot of their passive against the physical Metalcore Cooler, so that kind of helps us as well. Obviously then we have AGL Ginyu. AGL Ginyu is just going to do his thing. Obviously a great unit, especially in that second slot, especially when he's catered to by Raccoon and Gildo. He does love a bit of support and more Ginyu Force members on his team, but you don't need them on his team. I think, you don't need a lot of them to make him work. As long as you've got one decent pairing partner for him, I think he comes out alright. The more Ginyu Force, the better, but I think overall he comes out alright, so you don't have to worry too much. You don't have to cater to him too much. You can tend to just have a pretty good time regardless. So yeah, that's obviously up to you. It's going to be up to your box and everything. Yeah, AGL Captain Ginyu is great. And obviously we've got a transformation as well, which will give us a heal and also make him able to dodge and do a bit more damage. But we want him to build up a little bit first. Not like we're asking him to tank Cooler, because we're not, because we're going to use our Strength Cooler to basically incinerate him. But yeah, essentially we're going to, just need him to be relatively tanky, so we don't end up, taking too much damage during his turns. So yeah, then we've obviously got the Tech Golden Freezer, great unit, quite tanky, 80% damage reduction above 50% health, and then drops to 50 below 50% health. So we do have to be a little bit wary of that, just because it can cause us some issues. So obviously we do want to be a little bit cautious, but overall I would say that in general he's quite good, especially if you plan on just popping like a Whis or an item or something. Then 9 times out of 10 he's just going to tank everything really well. So, well, 99 times out of 100, he's just going to tank things really well. So you have that kind of flexibility. And yeah, outside of that, nothing too crazy. Last couple units, Physical Raccoon, great unit, obviously a free-to-play one. He has the ability to guard whenever he's got other Ginyu Force members in the team. This is pretty crucial because it means he's going to be relatively tanky. He also gets up to a decent level of tankiness. I mean, we're talking like, 300k or so defense. But when he's in the rotation with other Ginyu Force members, or other Ginyu, I should say, he then gets, obviously, that big kind of chance to guard, which does help him a lot. It doesn't mean he can tank super attacks, but generally speaking, it means that, we have some reliability in that floating slot as a tank, which is quite important. Then we have Kulieza. Kulieza being a Dragon Ball Fusions unit. So Kulieza is a Fusions unit, and he basically, to cut a long story short, he's quite solid. He's a general pool banner, so it's not like he's a heroes unit. He's not so hard to get. Some people should already have him, I hope. So you should already have him, and you should be able to make him work. He does need a ZZA, but he's a really, really good floater. Especially against a physical unit, where he's got that innate type advantage. That also tends to help him out a lot. So, yeah, you do want to keep an eye on some of these things, but outside of that, you're pretty good. And then you also have the Strength Cooler, the transforming one, and he's obviously also a really, really good floating support / main rotation unit, depending on how many dupes you've got, and obviously just what you want to do, how you want to run it. So obviously in the ideal world we have 2 final form coolers, and we also have the Strength cooler linked up with one of them, and then we have like Kulieza linked up with the other one. Like I think that's really, really good. So yeah, honestly beyond that, that's all really solid stuff. I would say, personally speaking, I'm quite happy with how this team ran. Obviously Ginyu and his Ginyu homies did their bit. Obviously a full Ginyu Force team always benefits the Ginyu Force a bit more, especially Ginyu, but this shows you don't need the full roster to get a really good performance out of them, especially if you're specifically using some of them to facilitate the rest of the team. So really, really solid stuff, I would say, overall. And yeah, here we're going to wrap things up, because Cooler's going to do his Cooler thing and absolutely eliminate Metalcore Cooler. So yeah, all's good when a plan comes together. Obviously the Strength Final Form Cooler kind of brought in to do this exact thing. If you've got 2 of them, it just makes life a little bit easier overall. And yeah, that's basically it. You can see here, things get a little bit close, I guess, a little bit too close for comfort. But yeah, overall we had a pretty decent time. I think we didn't have too many issues, and I think, yeah, the team ran smoothly. Cooler obviously carrying the payload damage-wise, as he usually does. So Cooler just doing his thing, gonna rip raw and push through with 10 million attack stats, 14 million attack stats, 11 million, blah blah blah. And yeah, just great stuff. So overall, a really, really good team performance, and it was a decent time. There's tons of decent replacement options on Terrifying Conquerors, so you shouldn't have the most difficult time trying to find replacements. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, it's greatly appreciated. If you could leave a like, that's always really cool. Otherwise, alternatively, you don't have to. But that's it for me. Let me know in the comments if you need any help, and I will see you guys in the next one. So until then, take care, stay safe, and bye.